Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. It's been a while. It's actually been an entire month. But we ignore that. We move on. We move. It's good. We're back. Nothing happened, ever. It's all good, you know? Like, we just pretend. Holy crap, hours. Yeah, we just pretend, you know? It's fine. It's good, you know? It's good to take a break and take inventory and... no, we didn't do any of that. I've been meaning to do this for like a long time and just haven't, so here we are. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. We are here. We're back. I've just got to try and sort out my window layout because I had it perfect and I realised, oh yeah, OBS actually needs to exist somewhere on here. And just bully that over there. There we go. I think that sort of works. It looks terrible, don't get me wrong, but it sort of works. Alright, let's just see if I can hear my disgusting voice on the old thing. I had it perfect and I realised, oh yeah, OBS. And I can hear myself. Excellent. Right. Without further ado, let's get into the do. Do. In 3, 2, 1. Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we'll continue on with our Let's Play. This is episode 66. In today's episode we are taking a look at the Mini and MG event, specifically the first of which is the Mini Challenge. For that we need a Mini to challenge, and I did the Cooper in the last LP, so in this one I'm going to do the 1.3 in Hawaiian blue, because why not, I guess. Yeah, should be fun. Mini challenge. I love this picture because there's a very real looking Mini and a very in-game render of a Mini at a track that isn't real. Or at least in the game it isn't. So, that's cool. Of course, it's Rome Circuit full. This is a low-powered car. I didn't think this through. I should have really gone with some power upgrades, but we'll see how badly we get slapped. I am ready to sort of be beaten around, considering I haven't done this for a while, so I've kind of forgotten everything that we are normally supposed to do in this situation. I also just realised my emulator will have a bunch of cheats on because of Beige Edition testing, so I'm sort of hoping I don't come out of this race with infinite money, but if I do, I'll edit it to make it look like that didn't happen. God. It's so weird being back because, like, obviously, you know, with developing Beige, I play a decent chunk of GT2 just sort of going backwards and forwards and testing stuff and getting footage for the show and whatever. So, we are back, but, like, this kind of just feels like my current norm. You know, the new norm ain't the same as the old norm, but it kind of is, really. Also, we are actually not getting nearly as bodied as I thought we would be in this first race. That black car is definitely quicker than us, but actually there is no silver lining to that because the AI are pretty good around Rome. It'll just be a case of catching them when they brake for the wrong corners and so on. I don't know what the actual power advantage of these guys is. I think it's about 30% in the base game normally. You saw an MG. Well, I assume so. You own one. Or did you see a proper MG? Like a manly MG, like a midget. I found out the other day the MGB that I rode in about 10 years ago is somehow still around. And I can't believe it is, because that car was an absolute rat when I saw it about 10 years ago. But amazingly it is still around. MGB, I think it wasn't a GT because it's the coupe, just an MGB Roadster 1980, I think it was. Oh, look at the power of the slipstream there, getting the other Mini into this corner. This is like one of those... Rome is kind of one of those tracks where you don't really want to be in the lead for most of it, because the AI will just kind of screw you in those final 2 corners very easily if you're not paying attention. So I think our tactic is probably just going to be defend the inside like mad, and hopefully they don't get past, because I've got a funny feeling they're going to catch on the straights. Because their cars are definitely quicker. Obviously mine was quicker. That definitely doesn't help. That really doesn't help. If you do that specifically, that's bad. But yeah, I think they're going to catch more on the straights. I can hear that black car behind me is just absolutely buzzing off the limiter. Kind of like I was there as well. Ironically enough, I think this car does actually have an inverse sort of Mr. Bean scheme on it, but we'll have a look in a second. I want to move to gently block, not full block, because I don't think it's quite that level of serious. And also you don't want to scupper your own momentum too much. But I do want to prevent them looking down the inside there, which is good. We've survived the 1 corner. Now let's try to survive this really nasty corner. Just chuck it in there. Yeah, I think we got enough leverage at the back there. I am actually shocked that went as well as it did. Oh, I see what you mean in the dealership. Right, I'm with you now. Wow, Rover Mini, Mini Cooper, Rover Mini, Mini Cooper, Rover Mini, Mini... See, the Rover Mini's just locked out the odd slots. And as we all know, first is an odd number. So, in my mind, they've just dominated there. Beautiful. Money could become an issue at some point soon. I am sort of looking. The Japanese stuff doesn't worry me too much, but some of the European cars can get quite expensive. I've also just ignored my usual rule of applying weight reduction. Right, so the race mod on this car, not quite as cool as it is on the Coupe. You still do get the race stripes though. I don't know why they insist on red stripes for that. The yellow and the green is the usual go-to. I actually quite like red and white. Do you know what? We'll be a bit different. Usually I would go with the yellow, but I'm fairly certain I did that for the hot lap video. So, oh, you can turbocharge a Mini. Interesting. How much do I expect them to upgrade realistically? I feel like, do you know what? 98 horsepower, that should be enough, right? I don't see any reason why they'd need to upgrade them more than that. Your car goes in for MOT in a few days, you're terrified. I'm terrified because it's Club and Stage Route 5. That's not really the track I wanted for this. That is Flame Red, yeah. That's on quite a few of the Rovers. Because we've been doing those as of late. Yeah, God, MOT days. I do not... I'm very sort of thankful for the fact that I don't really do MOT days anymore. Because the MOT day was always a terrifying day. Just because usually just before I'd go for an MOT, like something would hit the windscreen. Like a rock or something, and it'd be like, is that gonna pass? Is that not gonna pass? Is that within the prescribed area? Da 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 da. And then you like get it there and it finds out they haven't even noticed because MOT testers don't really pay much attention. If you get a dodgy Longbridge loving MOT tester, you should be fine. To be honest with you, I think on your MG the bigger issue is probably oil leaks than anything else. But haven't they changed like a bunch of stuff recently to like make it easier? Am I going insane? I am for thinking the stock Mini can hold that line. There was ERA Turbo Minis, yes. I think ERA may have eventually gone to turbocharge MX-5s actually. I could be wrong on that. But the ERA Minis were pretty cool, like wide body kit and stuff. I think they had factory warranties as well because they were done to a pretty good standard. They were cool. There was a bit of a resurgence of mini mania in sort of the late 80s into the early 90s, so a lot of those sort of kits for minis started popping back up again. You always want to, you know, minis are interesting because they it's a car that was on sale. Also, hello, Sid. It's a car that was on sale so long that it was in fashion, went out of fashion, and then came back into fashion. It's actually kind of insane how long the old Mini was. It also is insane how extremely easy these events have been to me. I was expecting... I am quite pleased I went 98 horsepower. I think I would have really struggled with any less than that, but... yeah, I'll take that. Also, I love the windscreen banner on the race modded Rover Mini, or just a Rover in giant letters and then Mini. Because fun fact, the Mini MG dealership used to be called the Rover MG dealership, I believe, at some point in development, and then it got changed. Right, I have now got thumbnails for literally everything, so all of those can go. Thank you, Ring Doorbell, my favourite. You can go over there. At least that didn't happen in the actual races. Alright. Yeah, they were kind of like their own entity, but they were known for doing to a pretty high standard, sure. That's good. Anyways, that is it for the mini challenge. Thank you all very much for watching. Join us next time. We're going to be taking a look at the MGF challenge. Join us for that. Until then, farewell. You are correct. I am wrong. It does happen a lot. Right, let me just verify that recording's not all manner of fuckty-duckty, and then we'll get on with it. Just rode in about 10. Great. A lot of those sort of kits for minis started popping. Yep. We're good. I'm kind of shocked how easily this has all fallen back into place. I was expecting something to go horribly wrong. Speaking of horribly wrong, it's time. 3, 2, 1. Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we'll continue on with a Let's Play. This is episode 67. In today's episode, we are continuing our look at the Mini and MG events with the MGF challenge. For that, unfortunately, I need to put my solid hard cash into an MGF. My brain exploded because it really did not want to buy the MGF then. We are going to put the weight reduction on it preemptively because we're going to have to racing modify it because we need to dump more money into an MG because it's an MG and that's what you do. MGF challenge. That is Rome, so that is good. Apricot Hill Speedway. This is going forwards because it's fixed in plus. We really are at that episode. Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's a funny number now, isn't it? My bad. I didn't make enough haha meme references to the funny number. 6, 7. There you go. The funny thing is, 6, 9 is called the Evolution. That's the Evolution meeting episode, so that's going to be even funnier. Come for the content, stay for the laughs. Right, MGF. Let's talk MGF. I actually don't think the front end of the MGF is that bad. It's an okay looking car from the front. I hate the way it looks at the back. It looks like an emoji at the back. It is not great. Yeah, just never really been a big MGF person. The last time I saw an MGF, actually, it was outside of an apartment complex on 3 wheels. The rear suspension had obviously snapped, and I assume it had sort of been stolen and left there. It was dark green with a red interior. MGF is very cute. I feel like the MGF's one of those cars that's probably more appreciated in like the markets it wasn't sold in, as opposed to those that it was. Admittedly, it is often forgotten that the MGF actually was the best-selling sports car in the UK, and I think it was one of the best-selling in Europe, actually. TF is ugly. The TF, I think the TF, the rear end looks better. The front end is a little bit less sort of cutesy, I guess. The problem is, the MGF has always been... The MGF is kind of like... The Porsche Boxster is the poor man's Porsche. The MGF is kind of like the poor man's Boxster, you know? It really is like a sliding scale of, like, wretchedness. Yes, it was popular in Japan, hence why it's here, I guess. Grandfather in France had an MGF. He had the option of anything out. He could have bought, like, an MX. I mean, admittedly, actually, I'm fairly certain France's best-selling sports car was, like, the Peugeot 206cc, so maybe that was for the best. Hello, Comfy User, thank you very much. I feel very welcome to be back. I genuinely, I've literally picked this up, and it's like we've never even, like, left. It's kind of crazy. In a good way. It helps me ignore the fact that I still have not recorded a single episode of Hot Lap since the Jordan. Listen, man, I've been really busy, okay? Nathan has given me a lot of colours for beige. And I've also done a lot of procrastination. Like, I don't know, man. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. Well, no, because the MGF was very, like, attractively priced compared to the MX-5. There is also one of the MGFs that's had head gasket failure, because he is absolutely at the back there. I don't know what happened to that MGF. I'm assuming it had the sort of spin round, but I don't really know how it managed to spin round in a race that's that short. Yes. Unironically, Nathan, that's kind of why I'm streaming tonight, because I know I won't have to do anything with the Toyota Classic. Oops. It's the Toyota Classic. Ruined it. Anyway, right, this race mod, I hate this race mod because it literally only looks good in white. Because of the weird, like, MGF logo on the front of it. So... naturally, I'm going to choose it in the most disgusting orange it comes in. Do we upgrade this at all? I'll stick $4.5 in it to bring it up to 160. Maybe we'll put a computer in it. 170. 170 should be okay, I guess. I should point out that... The MGF wasn't necessarily a bad car. They weren't built particularly well. They did have head gasket issues, but then again, everything with the K-Series kind of did. I don't think these were, like... From what I've seen with, like, contemporary reviews and stuff, the MGF, like, did review pretty well. Because it's got, like... It's a bit weird, because it's technically, like... The front end's bespoke, but the rear end is basically like a Metro, but backwards, if that makes sense. It's like a really weird setup, but it kind of works. It's got hydrogas suspension, which is interesting. I wonder if it was as popular as the MR2. Over here it was. Elsewhere, I'm not too sure. I'm assuming in Europe it probably was. The Toyota MR2 was not a huge seller in Europe. They were definitely around. They're kind of like MX-5s these days, where like the vast majority of those that are actually in the UK were imported sometime in sort of early 2000s. This red one's going to give me a really hard time. I keep trying to get underneath him and he keeps swatting me. It is a little... So, we spoke about this a lot on Hot Lap, and it's definitely true here. Admittedly, the tyres aren't upgraded, which isn't helping either. There is a massive tendency with these mid-engine cars for them to sort of understeer on power, which is not terrific. That also wasn't terrific, being absolutely swallowed by everyone into that corner. I feel like this is a race that's going to I could have very easily won, and I'm going to lose. I'm going to hate it because it's going to stick me on like Rome Knight or something after I'm done here. We're going to go for the English Yobbo school of driving now to see if we can catch any time on the red MGF. We are going to get under his underside here. Push him out a little bit wide. Bang it off the limiter in second gear, and we're going to get our guy into 2011. I'm fairly certain the cars that were built, they weren't built into 2011. They built 500 cars in 2008. It was like a special like MG coming back to the UK because they were owned by China at that point. And those, I think them 500 cars are worth some money, but I'm not quite sure how long they sold them for. Yeah, it definitely looked better in the white. 6.7, haha. Yeah, the TF was... I think the TF was updated when they started doing the ZR, ZS, ZT, so in 2001. I think. Alright. That's an MGF challenge. And fortunately, what you've just seen is an entire Mirage, because next time it's the Mirage Cup. Join us for that. Until then, farewell. I had nothing to end that. I did save the replay, didn't I? Yeah. No. So, the... Right, as far as I remember this, the MG... So, MG died in 2005. The MGTF stayed on sale until then. Afterwards, the MGTF was taken to China, and then they were assembled in China, and then in 2008 to reintroduce MG to the UK because it was owned by the Chinese. They bought the 500 MGFs over in knockdown kit form. They were knockdown kit assembled in Longbridge and then sold into the UK and potentially into Europe as well. I'm not sure if they were sold in Europe, but that is how that happened. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello there, and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we'll continue on with our Let's Play. This is episode 68. In today's episode, we are going to East City to start the Mitsubishi one-make races, for which there's only 2. And it begins with the Mirage Cup. For that, we need a Mitsubishi Mirage, and for that, I'm going to buy one of the coupe ones, because I used the hatchback last time. This time around, I'll use the weird Asti coupe one, because why not? These are kind of interesting. If you think it looks like a Lancer from the back, you're correct. Apparently the Mirage was literally just a Lancer, to be honest, and that's a thing. So there you go. I'm going to put stage 2 in it. That should take us through to the normal event and the race mod event as well. Unfortunately, one downside of running the Asti is the race mod. The race mod on the Asti, I think, is all very similar. So, whereas if you go for the earlier Cyborg, the 92 that's in front there, you get like the Falcon livery. Can't have been much worse than the UK ones. I don't really know anything about the 500 cars. All I know is they are insanely expensive nowadays, and I think the rumor is they were definitely, like, someone actually put a lot of time and effort into them because they were 500 and basically hand-built. I think they were significantly better than the cars that they were replaced by. Yes, Mirages are called Lancers in Down Under, because a Mirage essentially is just kind of a Lancer, just with the arse of it cut off. It actually, if you really want to think of it incredibly crudely, a Mitsubishi Mirage is basically the AMC Gremlin of Japan. So, there you go. Yeah, the Turismo GT, that was a thing, that was a rally car. They actually campaigned that quite a bit over here because the Turismo was a core. 95 to 2004 is a long time for a car. Yeah, the MGF was around for a while. I mean, I suppose if you think about the fact there was an update in between it, I mean, the difference between an MX-5 NA and an NB is not, like, massive. I think the NC was the first sort of, like, true new MX-5 chassis. Correct me if I'm wrong. Bear in mind, by the way, we are talking the current MX-5 has been on sale for 11 years now. And I don't even think it's actually been technically facelifted in that time. It's just sort of been bits and pieces were removed and put together. Yeah, I think Richard Burns, his first full-time WRC drive, I think was in a Turismo. Could be wrong. Yes, this is Gran Turismo 2 Plus. I should have mentioned that at the start of this, but I didn't. Yeah, this is Gran Turismo 2 Plus, which is an awesome mod, and you should check it out. There's a link down below for it in the description of every single one of these, because it's a good mod. And also all of the original run of the Hot Lap Classic. Obviously the A-Spec runs run with A-Spec, but, you know. If you're going to play for Gran Turismo 2, this is the one you want. Yeah, but again, I don't actually think the NA to MB was actually that drastic. I don't think... It is technically a new generation in the same way the new Camry is a new generation, but it kind of isn't. You know. It's like a weird one. But, I mean, it works. The TF, as far as I'm aware, sold pretty well. Even considering the fact that everyone saw the new Rover was a basket case that was about to drop dead. The ND. I've never been a big ND person, I will be honest. I actually think the NC's sort of, as the NC gets on a bit, I feel like the NC's aging quite well. The ND, it's alright, but I like the, what's it called? The one where it's got, like, the entire roof that, like, folds in and out. I forgot the name of it. They don't do it anymore. Not the convertible, the hard top. That's cool. Yeah, the NC facelift, that's a good looking one. So yeah, as I mentioned, unfortunately the Asties race mod is not particularly interesting, but that's the ropes you're dealt with. In fact, in that entire first picture, which again, ironically enough, is at Rome, it's full Grand Valley. Oh boy. Full backwards Grand Valley in a Mitsubishi Mirage. It feels like we are playing GT1 all over again. At least there is a couple of different cars here. You've got the Falcon livery for the Cyborg, but it's a colour shifted version. There's the other Cyborg there, the green Asti. In fact, there's no RXRs in this because the RXR has the little Asti bit on it, which is quite cool. So they are kind of different race mods. Also, fantastic line through there, guys. Great job. Oh, is it a GT2 Plus thing? I don't know. Yeah, the GTR was sold for 1 million years. I think the GTR was one of the longest. I don't know what the longest serving car currently on sale is. There is, I think it's, isn't it the Dodge Durango now that the GTR's dead? That's like a 2011 to 2015. I think that's America, obviously. Over here I've got no idea. Yeah, the mid-70s American cars were weird. You do get some truly amazing cars out of that time period though, like the Pinto and the Pacer. Listen, okay, my love for the Pinto is weird. My love for the Pacer is genuine. I love a Pacer. I want 3. Isn't GTR technically 07 to 24? Yeah, there you go. Hello, Godzilla. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, but I like the hardtop one. I mean, I'm not a convertible guy. I've never owned a convertible. I never want to own a convertible. So, if I was, it wouldn't be an MX-5. I actually have no idea what convertibles are left on the UK market, though. I like a 911 Targa, I guess. But even that, I'd rather just have the coupe. Oh yeah, no. But then again, I mean, that's Nissan all over. Like, let's be honest, the 370Z and the 350Z weren't that different, and the 370Z went on 12 years without an update. Yes, late 2007. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else is up. There's definitely some cars that are up there, some cars that like you wouldn't really think too much about. The MX-5 is definitely up there. I would absolutely not buy a Corsa Cabriolet, Nathan. I don't know what you're talking about. I would buy the... Okay, this is a controversial take. Out of all the weird super mini convertibles that came out of the 90s, if I had to say one that did it better than the rest of them, I actually think the Metro doesn't look too bad. They did an okay job with that one. The S2 at least wasn't hugely long. That was 2000 to 2010. 10 years. But then again, I mean, the S1 was 6 years. S3 at least, I think, was about 11 years. Just everyone forgets the S3 exists. Or existed. Obviously, it no longer exists because that would, you know... That's when Lotus was a good company. Well, not a good company, but at least one that could actually slightly make a bit of money. Yeah. Rover 100. Good looking car. That's why it's not in beige edition, because it's actually... I don't hate it. it's the S1... So the S1 and the S2, people forget about the S1, S2. Like, the original S2s, they were all Rover engine. I think it was 04 they did the light facelift and switched to Toyota engines, and then that sort of covered it off on them. The 6R4 was made out of the original Austin Metro. The technically called the Mini Metro, but I think they dropped the Mini Metro bit in 1983, I think. Yeah. I'll be honest, I've never really been a big Lotus guy. Like, Lotus is cool, but I could take or leave Lotus, which is why I'm not too mad. I just find it quite funny. You do occasionally see the Amir... What's the big one called? The Electric Saloon. You see that occasionally, but every time I see one I laugh because the guy lost like triple the money on it. Yes, that's... Contrary to everyone thinks that's what killed the Metro off. Technically that didn't kill the Metro off. It didn't help, but that car was, like, you gotta remember the Metro was basically 20 years old, so... The crash tests didn't help, but it didn't kill the Rover 100. It just sort of sped it up, essentially. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join us next time when we take a look at the Evolution meeting. Until then, farewell. Right. As Pizza would say. I need to figure out what we are doing for Lancer. Is there any good Lancers in here? I do like the red on the Evo 4, but I don't really want to use an Evo 4. Could use an Evo 2. Maybe. May as well just use an Evo 6 though, really. I can't remember what I used in the original LP. I actually don't remember. I think it was an Evo 3. And then the Sylvia's. Used an S14 in the original LP. I could go really left field and use one of the 180s. I could just use an S15. S15 has a sucky race mod though. Might use the 180SX. Yeah, we'll Ryan Cooper. I think that'll be the plan for that. Yeah. Let me just type this into here. And excuse me. Yep, and then our next issue is going to be when we get to Subaru, which is coming at some point. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. Hello there, and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we're continuing on with a Let's Play. This is episode 69. In today's episode, we are taking a look at the Evolution meeting. For that, we need a Mitsubishi Evolution, and for that, we're going to buy an Evolution 6 GSR. Because, why not, I guess. Don't need to race mod it, which is sure. So, we'll just put a few little upgrades on this just to make it a little bit quicker. I'm going to stiffen the suspension up as well, because it's a sort of rally adjacent car. And that should be good to go. Evolution meeting. Look at its happy face. The Sylvia case does have a very cool race mod, you are correct. Alright, we get Trial Mountain. Classic track, classic car. Good. Solid fun. So there was a couple of options for what I could have done for this. There was a really nice looking Evo. I mean, I say nice looking Evo 4. No Evo 4 is good looking. But it did come in a really nice red. And there was an Evo 2 as well that I was umming and ahhing about. But in the end, I decided none were as good as the Evo 6. Which is... depending on which day you ask me, the Evo 6 is my favourite Evo. But that really is very dependent on which day you ask me, because some days I sort of change my mind. It's between the 9, the 3 and the 6. I like all of those. They're all cool. In their own special way. I feel like it's... I think I've said this before. 6, 9, 3, 5... 2, 1, 10, 8, 4. And the 7 somewhere at the top there. I missed the 7. The 7's actually my 4th favourite. There you go. So 6, 3, 9, 7, 5, 3, 2, 1, 10, 8, 4. I think that's right. Don't ask me why I like the 9 a lot more than the 8. I can't tell you. Yeah, I suppose this is the last Evo as it would be properly known. They shifted to the Sadia platform after this, and it was not good. Yeah, I love the 7. The 7's probably... I think I prefer the way a 7... looks to a 9, but I prefer the 9. I do like a 7 though. If I was gonna seek out an Evo to buy, bear in mind 6s are like hilariously expensive, it probably would be a 7. I'd really love to get 7 GTA just to really piss people off. Because that's the automatic one. Probably easy to say they all look pretty awesome. I think the 4 doesn't. I think the 4 looks terrible. I'll go on record for that. I'm not a big 4 guy. The 10 looks like it's trying too hard. The 8's just a bit... eh. Like, I feel like the 7 looks really clean. The 8 kind of scruffed it up, and then the 9 just sort of added to it, which made it look a bit more... like they turned it around, I guess. Yeah, this blue's cool. It's just a shame this blue absolutely does not exist like this in real life. I think the blue in real life looks completely different to this one. I think Submaniac's got a pretty good updated Evo model. I'm sure that'll come out whenever GT 2.1 comes out. Yeah, Tommy Mackinnon Evo 6 is kind of like the car, really, to be honest. I like the blue one without the striping GT 3. Quite happy Forza bought the Tommy Mackinnon back into relevancy. I do like it how they did go in generation order. That is interesting. There you go. Mitsubishi always better than the last. sure that's what they'd say. If you ignore the fact that if a 5 was in that race, the 5 probably would have won. Oh, yeah, that as well. Let's go check that out. I need to keep an eye on how much is in my garage, actually, as well. Alright, let's go check out our car. So, we have got the Evo 4 in special colour. There's orange, yellow. I think there's a purple as well. Obviously, these are added with GT2 Plus based on the ones that you could get in GT1. Either we haven't had one of these for a while, or I don't remember us having one for a while. But either way, that's very cool. That's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join us next time when we begin our troll through the Nissan events. Join us for that. Until then, farewell. Right, how much have I got in here? 91. Alright, let's start selling stuff, I think. Try not to sell anything that I used in the main game. I didn't really want to sell stuff. Alright, let's sell the stuff we didn't actually put that much money into. I feel like that's the best way to do this. I used that, right? I'll keep it because it's rare, but I used it, so... Literally, why am I even trying to go through this in any rhyme or reason? Just sell everything, bro. Put the fries in the bag. We'll keep that. I'll try and keep the special cars, I guess. Well, I might have already sold one and not noticed. I don't think there's a lot of them. Yeah, that'll do. Oh god, yeah, the gearbox argument with Evos is always a funny one. Alright, let's do it. Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we're continuing with our Let's Play. This is episode 70. In today's episode we are starting our look at the Nissan One Make events, and there's a lot of them. So there's no time to waste, it's time to get ourselves into a Nissan Silvia, and we're going to use a 180SX. It is a Silvia, kind of. Right, I'm just not going to upgrade this. No, I'm not actually. I'm going to put the weight reduction in, because that would be very smart. Let's do that. That is smart. Why did they offer a 6-speed? Because Subaru probably was. Silvia 180SX Club. That's what the race is called, apparently. I don't know why, but that's what it's called. Admittedly, the one cool thing with the 180SX is it does have quite a beefy beefy exhaust mount. It also has some cool BBSs. Other than that, I've got nothing. I have nothing with for the Silvia. Oh god, this is the one with the bad spoiler. You are correct. I did just realise I may have made a small error in judgment, because the Silvia, that Spec R, is going to have like 250 horsepower. But then again, the other 180SX is kind of winning in that regard. I love how very obviously 2D this rear texture is. Like, you can tell this one kind of sucks. Like, the texture on this is just kind of bad. It is quite funny. If there was one available in that purple, I probably would have gone for that purple one. I kind of like the, well, I don't like the pre-update 180SX, but I feel like it's a car you never see anyone actually use, so... Mimetic audio. Dude, I am mimetic. Yeah, I know. I mean, if you ever dive into the GT2 sound bank, you'll quickly find out Polyphony did not really care where car sounds went to. They just sort of went everywhere. It's kind of like that moment when you realise the BMW 120D and the Storia X4 share engine noises in GT4. Like, Polyphony just didn't really care about audio. I can't really blame them too much because I've got to admit I am absolutely, completely and utterly deaf when it comes to car, like, audio. Like, I just don't care. I don't know. Like, I find it really difficult. I don't have an ear for it, I really don't. I just know loud car means loud. This is officially a Gran Turismo 1 audio moment. Yeah, that yeah, the tyre squeal is pretty iconic. Isn't this the same tyre squeal they used up until like 6? They definitely used this in 3 because I remember failing a few licenses listening to the sound of tyres being like torn up. I mean, we're doing pretty well. The good news is this is Rome reverse, not Rome forward. If it was Rome forward, then I think we'd have more of a problem. Because it's Rome reverse, it's not too bad. Oh, that's a GT3. Right, okay. I definitely remember it in 3. 100%. It might have even been in GT4 Prologue thinking about it. Beautiful. And that's why you can just cheat Rome reverse, because you can just cut that corner massively. It's great. Also, shout out to the fact the Sylvia Spec S. Oh, it's a Spec S, that's why. I thought it was a Spec R. If it was a Spec R, I feel like we would have had some problems, because it's a Spec S, it's probably less of an issue. Huzzah. Hey, we got a new car as well. We'll check that out at the end of the episode. But for now, it is time to racing modify our 180SX. Oh, this one isn't the bad wing one. This one's fine, I guess. Kind of got a super bird wing on the back of it. I'll turbo it, why not? Well, I should... sport tyres don't do anything, so actually, there's no point. I'm not putting racing softs on this, that's too easy. Trial Mountain. Let's go. Shout outs to the Sylvia Autotech convertible. That is the best Sylvia. What game will you play after GT2? There is no other game after GT2. I stopped playing this, I stopped working on Beige. It's the same game. It's the same game. It's all the same game. That I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea. I haven't planned that far out. It'll be something I decide at like the last minute. There's the horrible spoiler in case you was curious. There it is. It's on the other one. And it is horrendous. Also, double Fatboy Slim is a great thing. I have no idea. I can't speak on the development of tracks, really. I don't know enough. GT2 beta right after GT2 Vanilla, pal. Yeah, exactly, that's what I'll do. I'm playing through the GT2 Plus mod right now. After this, I'm going to play through the vanilla version. That's what I'm going to do. Because why not? Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll just play more GT2, it's fine. What I can confirm is whatever comes next isn't a Gran Turismo game. Or at least if it is, it'll be GT2. Because, yeah. I'm not playing 3, 4, 5, or 6 again. I'm sort of over that. I'm done. Genuinely, I'm not. Part of me really wants to. No one will watch it, but part of me just purely out of. Nathan, I will do Epic Turismo so long as you come along and can provide developer commentary. I'll tell me when the Epic Turismo anniversary is for 1.4, and we'll do that. I think so. But yeah, I kind of want to finish out of like pure just getting it done. I really want to finish my GTA 3D era playthroughs. I really want to do Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories, but no one's gonna watch it, and there's a lot of time to put it into something, so I have no idea. If I do that, that'll be like one of those I just sort of commit to right at the start, and before even like I won't even like upload it until it's finished. So I like literally don't worry about the view numbers on it. That'll probably be the way to do it. August 14th. God, that is actually in like 9 days' time. Holy moly. Shout out to the 24th of August is also the 2-year Beige Edition anniversary, I guess, because that's when we made the car list for it. I remember when it got mentioned on stream. But I'll count that as its spiritual anniversary, even though like nothing happened on it until March of the next year. I can't stop partying. Oh yeah, we got another car as well. 2 for the price of 1. Oh, I did put 69. I thought I put like 96 there for a second. I was like, what? Like muscle memory to my gamer tag from like 20 years ago. Alright. Let's go ahead and see what we've got given. So, for the first race, you get a special colour Nissan Silvia Q's, which is, again, a reference to Gran Turismo 1. And you also get the Nissan Silvia Spec RD rights. This is a car from the license tests. It's very cool. You can't do anything to this. It's literally a case of you can put tyres on it, and that's about it. But it's still very cool, and I'm very happy to have it. So, there we go. That's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join us next time. I'm going to be taking a look at the Pulsar Cup. Until then, farewell. That's next week's... What's the Family Guy joke? That's next week's storyline. Get there. It is a fucking banana. Right, so we have 2 cars for... Okay. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the... No, it's not that. Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we'll continue with our Let's Play. This is episode 71. In today's episode, we are taking a look at the Pulsar Cup. For that, we need a Nissan Pulsar. And for that, we head to, well, Nissan for the Nissan Series VZR, because why not? Now, admittedly, it went round in Hot Lap in Cranberry, but it's going around here in Cranberry because it's the best colour. It is not a turbo engine, apparently. You naturally aspirate this. Cool. Alright, I'm going to have to do with a GTIR, so I kind of want to do a couple of upgrades to this just to make it a little bit quicker. But there is no race mod version of this, it's just a single model race for Pulsar only. Let's go. Most powerful naturally aspirated 1.6 litre engine ever. Probably one of them. Prefer the other. Oh. Is there even a Sunny in this race? There is no Sunny, it's just all Pulsars. Okay. I got all wound up for absolutely nothing. Yeah, I also prefer the GTIR to the Almera Pulsar, whatever you call this. But, you know, again, trying not to cross-contaminate the older GT2 playthrough, so we use new cars here. And this is one of those cars that I didn't use in the original LP, so I'll use it in this one. Which is a shame, because I really like this one. Mostly because if you were growing up in Europe back in the day, the idea of a almost 200 horsepower front-wheel drive version of the Nissan Almera is kind of an insane thing. Because the Almera was, like, the ultimate pensioner car. Like, these cars are not cool in any way, shape or form. But yet, there's like, you know, a version of it that'll rev to like 9k, which this could. You know, in the UK, the Honda Civic and the Almera were in a massive fight over which 85-year-old grandparent could buy one first, whereas in Japan it was all about high-revving 1.6 litre engines and track battles. Really does show you the interesting ways in which different countries will use different cars, I guess. How is Beige Edition coming along? Very, very well. We are almost halfway through the cars, I think. And that comes up in like a month or two's time, so... yeah, it's still good. Still on track for releasing whenever it's done, I guess. I am starting to say, do not take this as gospel. I am starting to hope it can get over the line by the end of next year. I really don't want to push it into 2028. I'm not sure if it will make that or not. Someone says it probably will fall into 2028. Because at the end of the day, it will release when it's ready. We've kind of got an idea, or I've sort of imposed the idea that I want like a full couple of months at least at the end of the project for testing only, like nothing else, and then finally it'll get like a full release eventually. Yes, the UK did have the Almera GTI, no one bought it, literally no one, nor would they, to be honest, because no one thought of Nissan as anything other than a brand for old people or boring people. My auntie had a Nissan Sunny, and then she had a Nissan Micra. Tells you everything you need to know. Hurrah! Yeah, it does. But that's my dream. Also, shout out to the fact the N1 is slower. That's a good indictment of Nissan's stripped out racing version of this car. And we get a new car acquired. Let's go check it out. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now. Alright. Watch this LP and take a shot every time I say alright. And for winning that event, we get the beta colour scheme for the VZR N1 with this cool side decaling on the side. I have no idea if that was available on the actual VZR N1, but it's on this one, and it looks very cool, so that's good. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join us next time. We're going to be taking a look at the Skyline R34 Challenge. Until then, farewell. Shoot my shabba, shoot my shabba. And in 3, 2, 1. Hello there, and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. We'll continue on with our Let's Play. This is episode. Hello there, and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we'll continue on with our Let's Play. This is episode 72. In today's episode, we are taking a look at the Skyline R34 challenge. For that, we need a Skyline R34, and for that, we buy a Nissan Skyline R34, the 25 GT Turbo. Because, you know, being predictable is boring. It's for R34s. Let's go. Oh, and it's at Super Speedway. Let's go. Shortest episode ever. Give me. Give me. Yeah, the Primera is cool. I mean, the problem Nissan had is, like, their styling kind of sucked. Like, everyone could have bit the styling of the, sort of domestic European and American Nissans at the time was just kind of... Actually, no, even the American Nissans were somewhat interesting, because you had, like, the Ultima was at least, like, swoopy and stuff. But yeah, the, like, the Primeras and Pulsars and stuff just were not it. So they kind of, yeah, fell by the proverbial wayside. And by the looks of it, that is basically the only conversation topic we are going to be able to have this entire time. I love it when a plan comes together. This is just my sort of thing. There's no nonsense, no dicking around. The funny thing is, I actually do think I'm better positioned to drive this one than one of the GTRs, because the GTRs might have more power, but remember, they've got all-wheel drive. I've got rear-wheel drive. I've got the weight advantage. I've got less understeer through the corners. You know, that's the way to think about this. You know, just about have enough grip to pull my way out of here and cross the line, and that's it. We are. Bear in mind I cocked up the intro, so it's probably going to take a lot less longer. Yeah, 2 minutes, that's it. There's not really a lot to be said. Can this one be used in the GTR Cup? In theory, if you used one of the R34s, it probably could. I'm not sure about this one. Alright, that's that. I like it when a plan comes together, and that plan certainly has come together. Anyway, speaking of plans, next time we're going to be taking a look at the March Trophy, so join us for that. Until then, farewell. Excuse me, sorry. We also Peugeot back. Cool. Got the car, got the core, got the hope, got the meter, got the hope, got the boo, got the hope. I got the hope. Is that song in Forza Horizon 1, guys? Anyways, 3, 2, 1. Hello there, and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we'll continue on with our Let's Play. This is episode 73. In today's episode, we are taking a look at the March Trophy. For that, we need a Nissan March, and fortunately, there's one for sale. The Nissan March Super Turbo, which is ironically also the best of all of the Marches that you can get for this, because it's 110 horsepower stock as opposed to 70, which is what's in the other one. Anyway, March Trophy, single model race for March only, no license required. Grindelwald. No, I used the modern March in the previous one, but I used the March Super Turbo for this, because in the... This sounds really cool. In the previous Let's Play, I used this as a first car. So, and it was in the first episode, so a bit of a callback. How super is the turbo? Well, I mean, there is a reason it's called Super Turbo, and that's because it is supercharged and turbocharged. It is a twin-charged Nissan Micra, which is a thing that, again, much like that weird Almera we had last time, it is kind of insane to consider that this existed in Japan. you could buy a March with a supercharger and a turbocharger. It is actually kind of insane. I was gonna say I don't know why this exists. I do know why this exists. Okay. Doesn't this exist for the same reason the Storia X4 exists in Japan? Isn't this like a dirt trial homologation car or something, I think? I want to say. Also, I got completely screwed by that green March. That's kind of why this one freaked out. I hit the back of him right next to one of the walls at Grindelwald, which can be especially nasty as far as Gran Turismo walls are concerned. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to pass this guy through here. Ah, look, the black car's got the right idea as well. Go on, there we go. Push him into the lead and then get ourselves into the lead. Yeah, Grindelwald's a cool track. I really like Grindelwald. It's probably one of the trickier tracks as far as this game's concerned, because there is a lot of, you know, something like Tahiti Road, you've got like runoff for days. Well, as this, you know, there's a lot of punishing corners with the grass on the inside, and the walls on this track are absolutely vicious. So I feel like it's this and sort of Special Stage Route 5 are definitely some of the more tricky technical courses in the game, which is cool. The spirit of Peter Griffin appeared. Oh yeah. Oh, Lois! Peter, did you hear about the March Super Turbo? No, Lois. I prefer the Supra. Yeah, that too. They did kind of just do whatever. I mean, this is in the same era that the Daihatsu Charade Di Tommaso existed. So that's something. And there's also like the Honda City Turbo, and I think this car had quite a few rivals. If anyone wants to do some like weird GT2 mod that adds the Di Tommaso, the Honda City Turbo, some of these other like insane cocaine 80s super minis, I'm all for it. I'm definitely all for that. Very wayward on the back though. That is pretty sick. Actually got a good rotation, although it did cost us time, to be fair. Speaking of time, I'm losing a lot of it, losing the rear end. I'm gonna have to cover. Fortunately, he hit the wall, which has hurt his straight line speed. I think, as the Super Turbos all beaten the newer Micros, we almost did. Almost. I approve of any Daihatsu Charade being added to GT2. Yeah, it is a bit of a weird sort of non-inclusion. You know, you could have 3 Daihatsu Storias, but not a single Charade is kind of interesting. AMG Galant, yeah, that can come along too, I guess. Oh, right. Fun fact, I like the sort of the more standardized grille it puts on the March there. I think what we'll do, go for a muffler. I'm not going to go crazy. I feel like 120 horsepower is enough. 170 for 4 grand is tempting, but do you know what? I think I want to risk it for a chocolate biscuit. I'm not going to go for the full shebang on this. High-speed ring being the track is slightly more concerning. Oh yeah, the 2 Opti-Club Sports and also all of the moves. Yeah, I don't really know what... Daihatsu's inclusion in GT2 really is weird. I do wonder if it's they went to Toyota to like license a bunch of stuff, and Toyota was like, hey, you could feature a Daihatsu, we own them too, and they just went, sure. And then that's sort of like where... the only thing I can think maybe is the idea was they differentiate themselves from Toyota a bit more by selling the more sort of basic key cars and stuff Daihatsu was more known for, as opposed to the out-and-out super minis. I guess maybe like it's a bit of a a bit of a backwards move from Toyota to try and pump themselves up more with value. Conspiracy theory. Who knows? Who really cares? Because it's Daihatsu. I love the lemon-coloured marches at the back here. I feel like it is actually the same grid as the last race, which is kind of funny. With 2 modern marches and then the 4 super turbos at the front here. This is going to be tight because the AI are actually pretty good at reverse high-speed ring. I actually think the AI are more competent in reverse high-speed ring than they are outside of it. All those moves and no ground move. Well, some may say if you dream it, then you can drive it. Technically speaking, it would have been known as the wasn't it the Paisar or something in Japan? I feel like Gran Move is a far more entertaining name than Paisar, but that's what they went with. Right, I can't really hear engine noises, which means I will absolutely be able to hear engine noises at the end of this banking. No, I upshifted too early. Yeah, yeah, okay, but yeah, I need the turbo. I got the worst track I could have possibly got to say no to the turbocharger. Why did I say no to the turbocharger? First fail of the night. Okay, Autumn Ring. I was like, please do not give me Grand Valley. Genuinely can't be doing for Grand Valley again. Like, I don't know if it's going to be... The AI do feel like they're kind of cracked at... So I just realised this has the A-Spec gearbox. Is this the source of all of the issues A-Spec has with gearboxes? Are all of the gearboxes from the March Super Turbo? What the hell? Yeah, I feel like the reverse version of High Speed Ring, the AI are kind of cracked at that track. But yeah, you know, if you rage quit a race, it technically doesn't count towards your... technically doesn't count towards your losing percentage, so there you go. Yeah, there's an Estima. Only one, I'm not adding all 3 versions of the fucking thing. The Estima is a car which is absolutely impossible to find literally anything for ever, because there was like 3 separate versions of it all for sale in Japan at the exact same time. There was the Estima, there was the Estima Enema, and there was the Estima Lucidia, and all of them were different. 20 cars to go, I think, for the A-Spec. By the time this episode comes out, it's going to be like 7 or 8 less than that, so... I actually do think about partway through these one makes, like when we're getting towards the end of it, which is the most unfortunate time for it to happen, is when we technically run out of, when I technically run out of hot lap. It's weird. Yeah, I know A-Spec's still being updated. I am aware. Not... It's still being updated, whether 1.3 happens or not. It's, you know, different, but... Hopefully it does. It'd be nice for that sort of mod to end on its own terms, but we shall see. How far we've come. Yeah! It's been a long time since Twingo. It's actually... Funnily enough, I do remember it being September of last year because I remember doing it for a week and then the computer thing happened. God. Big fan. Yeah. I think they're reassessing some of the cars. I know some of the devs are watching the hot lap videos for stuff like that. So, almost a year. Yeah. Well, I expect it's gonna have to start removing stuff. Basically, I've already given my recommendations for what should be removed from there. So, we shall see. But either way, almost didn't save the replay. Oh my god, is that actually gonna fit? That's so disappointing. You aren't wrong. Fault to remove some of the key stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've given my recommendations of what they should remove, and I think they've listened, so that's good. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join us next time. We'll be driving something completely different. Until then... Wait, what? No. Join us next time. We're going to be taking a look at the GTR meeting. Until then, farewell. Jesus Christ. That is called when you do everything on autopilot. Right, GTR meeting. There's actually something I kind of want for the GTR meeting, so... Just gonna see if I can get it. If I can't, I'm not gonna lose my mind. In order of placement? Am I? Okay, we're good. Alright. Hello there and welcome back to some more... Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we'll continue on with our Let's Play. This is episode 74, and in today's episode we are taking a look at the GTR meeting, our final Nissan 1 make race. For that we need a Nissan, and for that, well, a Skyline GTR, obviously. For that I'm buying a 40th anniversary, because 4-door GTR, because... cool, I guess. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the GTR meeting. More race for all GTRs. All of them. Literally all of them. You're going to the most GTR circuit on the planet, Laguna Seca. That's how you do it. Talking about the F1 cars. Well, I actually genuinely... I mean, I actually know what the final car is. It's not either of them. But what I can tell you is I don't know which one of them is actually coming before the other one. I actually genuinely don't know. It is in constructor's order though, so if you can figure that out. Isn't that the Ferrari going last then, technically? Because McLaren clinched the Drivers' Championship, but they were second in the Constructors, right? I think that's the way that works. Someone can confirm it. Yes, they did have this to Horizon 6. Actually kind of cool. Horizon 6's car pass has actually been kind of killing it lately. Kind of wish I was still making Forza videos. I have still thought about it. I still kind of want to do like a hot lap adjacent series on Horizon 6, but I don't know. I feel like the time to do that's probably like gone and past. I feel like no, they are in constructors rankings because the Arrows, it was BAR. Arrows was 9th, right? So I did Arrows, Minardi. I did BAR, Minardi, Arrows, right? The Arrows might have been an exception just because the Arrows is dreadful. But the BAR definitely went first out of all of the F1 cars. And that was last in the constructors that year. So, I think they're all in constructors rankings. I could be wrong on that, someone might know more than I do, but I think that's right. Yeah, the prototypes are kind of just in whatever order they came across my door. The more I think about it, the more I do kind of think the Honda is probably just the Jordan without the livery. And the Jaguar, I've got no idea. I think the Jaguar is its own thing, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Honda is just kind of using Jordan's stats without the livery. Because I could kind of see like the negotiable in there being like 2/10. That makes sense to me. Yeah, the engine was the same. The Jordan, from what I've been told, all of the F1 cars are the same, it's just different grip modifiers. So that's literally the only thing that's changed about them. Oh, did I do the Arrows before the Minardi? Then yeah, that might be different then. Yeah, I don't know. I can't argue with that one. I don't know why I did it like that, but I did. I have dishonored my family. Cool, new car. I mean, I've got to assume, yeah, there wasn't there a weird coloured R32 in GT1, right? I think. Anyway, well, I mean, for £5 grand, how can I say no? All right. Let's go ahead and get back into the racing. Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, there is some sort of catch-up in play in GT2, so that's probably part of the reason for it. What have we got here then? We've got the R34, we've got the... That is the V-Spec 2 R32. The 94. Because that's got the unique race mod. I literally cannot tell you which ones any of the rest are. I think the red livery, I think the car I'm battling with now is a V-Spec. The car battling with the R33 in front is the standard GTR. And then I cannot tell you which one this is. Oh, yeah. I actually had forgotten all about that. Yeah, this is... So, in the base game, the R34 4-door, or R33 4-door, sorry. That is a really weird combination of numbers when you think about it. That it was supposed to get a racing modification, this. For whatever reason, didn't make it into the final game, so they got rid of it. GT2 Plus fixes it, brings it back. It is worth mentioning, it's not quite as simple a task as that sounds, because this model was not actually... The reason this got cut is not just because polyphony are bad. This is the one that actually did have some model issues, I think. The Prius, as far as I'm aware, was pretty sort of ready to go. The Life's had issues and this had issues, which is probably why this didn't happen in the end. I could go full conspiracy theory and say it's because an artist got fired, but that's up to you. Yeah, A-Spec did that for a few cars. The only thing I don't like about that with A-Spec is I like the outer skyline and the BP RX-7 getting their full liveries. The thing I'm not so sure on is it's like one of those sort of slippery slope things where, like, yeah, it's cool, but, you know, there's never really been any plans to extend that beyond that, because in theory, you could do that for a lot of, like, the race modded cars, like the BTCC cars. You could make them look more equivalent to their BTCC counterparts, stuff like that. There's one of those sort of, like, slippery slopes. I find the worst example of that in A-Spec is the fact that they uncensored the Lancer Evo rally car. So it's got it actually says Marlboro on it. But as far as I'm aware, that's the only one they've done that for. They've not sort of put that censorship on, like, or undone the censorship like that in the Subaru or anything like that. And it does feel a bit like, eh. Yeah. Could be. I don't know. The back end of the 4-door R33 is just kind of an interesting car in and of itself. I suppose it's more interesting the fact that they actually went ahead and sort of made this model for scratch for this game. Because it's not a GT1 carrier, even though the R33 is, for whatever reason, they decided to really want to add the 4-door Skyline. I don't really know why, but I'm all for it because it's cool. Anyways. Winfield livery. Which Winfield livery are we talking about? There's quite a few. Oh, that one. I don't even know if that's an A-Spec. I actually don't remember. No new car for this one. Weird. You'd think it'd be attached to the race mod. But never mind. It is basement anniversary soon. Looking forward to it. Need a big cake for basement day. Cool. Alright, let's go and have a look at our prize car on the Evo 5. Yeah, again, I can't remember if they added the Winfield livery or not. I just don't remember. Either way, what I do know is this is a special coloured GTR. It's the same one that you could find in GT1. I can't remember the other colours this came in. I think it's purple and yellow, like a few of the other ones, but yeah, it looks cool. I like it, but I prefer my 4-door Ortec version GTR. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join us next time. We're going to be taking a look at the only Opel one-make race, the Tigra Cup. Join us for that. Until then, farewell. It is kind of similar to the Calisonic car, I guess, in a way. Anyways, 3, 2, 1. Hello there, and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we're continuing with our Let's Play. This is episode 75. In today's episode, we are taking a look at the one and only Opel one-make race, the Tigra Cup. For that, we need to buy a Tigra, and so I'm going to buy a Tigra in this disgusting green colour, because why not? Alright, what do we want to do to our Tigra? Well, I mean, it is almost a Vauxhall, so I guess we've got to install the biggest exhaust we can find on it. And I'll get the computer to bring up to 117 horsepower as well. Tigra Cup, one-make race for Tigras, unsurprisingly. Seattle full, hooray! The proving ground for all Opel Tigras. And we're going backwards as well, just to really ham this home. Lovely. I joke, I actually quite like this generation of Tigra. It's like one of my guilty pleasures. I don't really know what I like about it. They're kind of like a sad-looking car in most pictures, but I feel like the rear three-quarter angle of these is actually pretty cool. Like, between this and the Ford Puma, I actually kind of, you know, I can see it. I can see there being a bit of a rivalry between the two. The problem the Tigra had that the Puma didn't is the Puma was based on the Fiesta, which was pretty good to drive, and the Puma, they just made it even better. I think they changed a few of the suspension bits around. The Tigra, they did the General Motors thing, where they just called in Lotus to tune the handling, and they didn't really. And also the small fly in the ointment was that the Tigra weighs, I'm not joking, 150 kilos more than the equivalent Corsa. So, yeah, unfortunately, for as good a car as the Tigra looks, not known for being one of the greatest. I also do have to say the GT2 model is a bit flat in the back. I don't know if I'm just misremembering what Tigras look like. It wouldn't surprise me if, like, a few of the cars in this game, if the Tigra was actually based on the ice race car and then they just sort of downgraded it into the road car, that wouldn't shock me. But yeah, it does look a little bit square at the back. I don't really know why. It still looks okay, though. Calibra aged well. Yeah, I mean, the Calibra is also another one of those cars that looks a lot better than it actually is. The Calibra is just kind of... To be fair, the Corsa isn't too bad, to be honest, bracket. It's not too bad. The Corsa is pretty good, which is why we ended up using it. And what else is okay? The Vectra and Astra we're redoing because they both suck. Also, another fun fact, according to Pez's current research, the Tigra featured in this game is actually a special edition. The Tigra Wave, which is reflected in Page. What was the deal with the Corsa webcar trim? The Corsa webcar was like, there was a lot of this with Opel in the turn of the millennium. They were doing a lot of like internet themed editions. You might remember the Opel Omega V8.com concept, which the idea was it was an Omega with a Corvette V8 and a Microsoft Windows PC in the back. That was just a thing. And so I think they had webcar versions of every car they did. Just obviously we chose the Corsa. So that's what it was. I don't know too much about it sort of specifically in terms of what was special about it. I know it's a 1.2 litre, couple of accessories, special wheel designs, only available in a few of the colours, that sort of thing. But yeah, the Corsa webcar was just sort of the special edition that they did. Personally, I prefer the Corsa Trip. That's where my heart lives, because the Corsa Trip's incredibly funny to me. And I love the insane logo that it's got. It's very 90s. The blue and the purple, it's like that sort of squiggle design they put on cups. From the 90s. I can't remember what... I'm pretty sure that squiggle design has actually got a name, but I literally can't remember what it was. It's like if they sold an Auto Trader version of the Chevy Impala, kind of. Calls a druggy edition. I mean, there was a lot of those. Oh, backed out too far. Anyways, race mod, Opel. It's in the Opel yellow colours. Also, the Vauxhall yellow colours, because the Vectra ran that livery in BTCC, but whatever. Nothing beats the Corsa Cabriolet though. See, this is it. We give you 3 flavours of Corsa to indulge in. Ironically enough, the webcar is easily the quickest of the 3, or it will be, because the Corsa Cabriolet has... The Corsa Cabriolet is a bizarre... I'm not actually quite sure how it happened. I know they only made 100. I know it's technically a German coach builder. I think I actually built them. But I don't know if they were based on the Holden version. So the Corsa Trip has a 1 litre 12 valve engine. I think it's 4-cylinder, but it's 3 valves per cylinder. It's like 50 brake horsepower. Then the Webcar's the 1.2 16 valve. That's about 70-ish horsepower, I think. And then, for whatever reason, the Corsa Cabriolet, despite being a 1.4, is only 60 brake horsepower. I don't really know how that works. So actually, between that and the Trip, it'll be interesting to see which one's actually sort of quicker when all said and done. I can imagine the Cabriolet is going to be quicker, but not by much. Yeah, there was a lot of those weird... It's the one thing I feel like we really miss from cars nowadays is insane special editions. Ironically enough, the only people who are still doing it is Volkswagen, because there was the ID3 Fire and Ice version, which was an insane vehicle. It's like bright purple, and it had blue seats on the left and red seats on the right, and that was a real special edition they made. And everyone kind of laughed at it, but you know, I'm all for it. Bring the special editions back. I'm not gonna lie, in the last couple of years, I've really wanted my Honda dealership to turn around and go, oh, by the way, in the UK now, they're doing like the Verstappen edition Civics, because I would have bought one of those. 100%, I would have bought the Verstappen edition Civic. But, no, they never did, so... And now, they're definitely not making a Fernando Alonso edition Honda, are they? So, yeah. I mean, convertibles in general kind of died a death. There was a lot of them in the 90s, and then they sort of started... They had a bit of a renaissance in the mid-2000s, and then kind of died again, because they weren't very good. The problem is with a convertible is you don't really get... I feel like, to be honest with you, what probably happened with convertibles, at least here, is people sort of collectively woke up one day and went, the roof never does go down here, so what's the point? So, yeah, I'm gonna guess that's probably the reason that happened. I'll try and, yes, there we go. Do not open yourself up to weakness, Tigra, for I will take advantage in my very underpowered Tigra. I'm going to get the inside here, but not too far off the inside, otherwise we'll get sucked into the barrier and lose. That was a lovely line out of that corner. There's a lot of Tigras bearing down on me, but none of them are going to be beating my Tigra. There we go. Oh yeah, the PT Cruiser convertible. Yeah, so the the Harlequins are weird because in Europe they did really well when they were based on the Polo. In Mexico they did well when they were based on the Beetle. America they didn't do well with the Golf because Americans didn't know what it was. I think that was more because like Volkswagen in America is technically considered more of like a luxury brand, I guess. Whereas over here it's just like, yeah, whatever, it's Golf. Like, yeah. Yeah, there was 3 Harlequins. There was a Golf for America, a Polo for Europe, and a Beetle for Mexico. And that's it from us. Thank you all very much for watching. Next time we're going to be taking a look at the 106 Challenge show. So until then, farewell. Farewell, 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 farewell. Oh, excuse me. Fat Boy Slim is fucking in heaven. Fat Boy Slim is fucking in heaven. Oh my god, Nathan, I've just seen the Toyota Classic. Let's fucking go. Looks insane. Oh, the side of it, at least. Editor, keep that in. Editor is me, so editor will be not keeping it in, otherwise editor will be losing his fucking job. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we'll continue on with our Let's Play. This is episode 76. In today's episode we are beginning our look at the Peugeot 1 make races with the 106 challenge. For that we need a 106, and for that we're going to buy our 106 Rally because why not? Easy enough, I guess. I am going to put some power into this because we're going to face off against the S16 cars. I'm going to put that much power into it because that is a lot of money. I'm really hoping we don't get test scores because the rallies do have a lesser gear ratio. Also, shout out to half real picture, half GT2 picture. Again, glorious. Red Rock Valley, I'll take that. Okay, although there's a long straight, but whatever. How we got through the majority is we are up to P. I mean, out of the only real barriers to finishing this now are Subaru and Suzuki are a bit long, and Toyota's the long one that's still left. But yeah, other than that, it should be pretty smooth sailing. There's not an awful lot of these to do. We're definitely, I'd say we're 2/3 of the way to completing all of these. If I had to guess, what's bland in the white. They do look a lot better in real life than they look in the pictures. The 106 is right. It's pizza, everybody. Yeah, the 106 is cool. These are worth ridiculous amounts of money now. Unfortunately, it is one of those cars that I have absolutely missed the boat with. I will say the 106 model is not half. It's okay. The front end is a bit too sort of soft, but they did model the rear windscreen wiper into the rear window, which is yeah, it's definitely something. The rally is sick. I am pizza. You are pizza. Everyone is pizza. Everyone is pizza now. Things quicker than I expected it to be. The gearbox also probably wouldn't be that big of an issue, considering if this can get to like 200 kilometers an hour, it's probably like more than enough for what the AI can throw against us. They are keeping up relatively well, but then again, I mean, if they're at a sort of standard 30% power increase, you know, S16s run about 120 brake stock, so I suppose they'll be running 150. The what, 27? I don't know what that is. It won't. Whatever it is, it won't. Don't murder you. I'd probably not. Murders, mind you, I suppose you get let out early at the moment, so who knows. As long as it looks like you made an attempt not to murder someone, you should be okay. I love how comically huge the Peugeot badge is on the back of this. It really wants you to know it's a Peugeot. Alright. There's a lot of V12 hypercars around at the moment. Like, an insane amount of them. Almost all of them have manual transmissions as well. Because, of course, because everyone seems to have latched onto the same selling point at the same time. Oh, there's literally only one S16 in here. That is actually kind of funny. I did not realise I can't say I really looked. I should have looked further. That there was literally only one coloured 106 on the grid, and the rest of them just weren't. NFS Nitro badging, true. Big Nitro guy. No, I'm not. I've never played it. Alright, race mod. It's the same between both of them, no matter if you go for the rally or the standard one, you still get the same race mod, which is based on one of the S16 cars. It's Rome Night again. Of course it's Rome Night again. Why wouldn't it be Rome Night? again. I hate it too. I hate the... To be honest with you, I am really starting to get... I wouldn't say annoyed, because I don't really care that much, but it is... Like, even the car industry starts to be getting on board with the new equals bad thing now, and it's just like, oh my god, please stop, die. Every new car, it sucks, it's whatever. Every single one. And guess what? Some new cars do suck. You're not wrong. The Ford Capri sucked. The Ford Explorer sucked. The Ford Puma ST Edition sucks. However, some cars that come out are good. The BMW i3 is the best looking 3 Series since the E36. I'll be hung from the cross for that. The i3 is legitimately good. It has 560 miles of range. It's insane. It's a great car. That's fantastic. But no, I don't like it. No. Oh, I really like the current M3 with the beaver tooth that I said sucked like 5 years ago. And especially, oh my god, if I have to see... I'm not going to say the name of the magazine, because I'm 99% sure I remember it, but 1% of me is like, I'm not so sure, so I won't slander anyone. But the ones who do like those articles like, oh my god, I can't believe it, Volkswagen killed their manual car for North America, and it turns out to be a base model Jetta. It's like, no one cares. Literally no one gives a single solitary fuck. I was reading an article they did on like a Corolla. There's like so in Japan, they killed off the standard like petrol Corolla, but you can still buy it technically as like a driving school car. But if you buy it with driving school car, it's like a manual. It's a 1.2 litre, whatever, makes 100 and nothing horsepower. And they're like showing it, and it's kind of interesting, you know, because there's a car like you don't really think about, but yeah, I guess driving schools would need to like make cars. And then you got the fucking Yanks in the comment like, oh yeah, I really wish Toyota would bring that to the US, I'd buy it. It's like, no you wouldn't. You're driving around in a 25-year-old Mustang, you fucking loser. Like, no one you're not going to buy a new car, so they're not worth listening to. I buy new cars, I'm worth listening to. Like, it's great. Yeah, I don't think... No, but it's not just EVs, though, because I have to defend my boy. The Prelude suffered it. It's just like, the amount of... I've seen the idiot comments where it's like, dude, Honda should have given the 370 horsepower and a manual, and it's like, no. 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 Are you aware of what a Prelude is? Oh, like, dude, they should have stuck a Type R motor in it. Again, not what the Prelude is, but also double that. You do realise there is, like, 2 markets in which the Type R continues to be sold, and it's America and Japan. Guess what? In Europe, we can't have it because of emission regulations. The Prelude is a world car. They sell it across the world, so they needed the one engine that would sell across the world, and guess what? That's the hybrid. I don't know what to tell you. And also, I like the fact I haven't got the Type R engine because I don't want a fucking manual. It sucks. Fuck those people. It actually is insane. Yeah, the Prelude is a luxury coupe. What is the current one? A slightly nicer Civic. That's what the Prelude kind of was. It was just a slightly nicer Accord. Now it's a Civic, which means it's shorter and more tossable. This is actually the most enthusiastic Prelude that has ever existed. It's actually quite funny. And yet, no manual VTEC. If they put a K20 in it, I'd buy it. No, you wouldn't. Shut up. God. Like, yeah, new cars aren't great. Like, China, all the Chinese cars are kind of the same. I get it. But, like, at the same time, it's like, oh my god, come on. Just get a grip. If you don't like it, don't fucking read articles on new cars. Because you're not going to find anything you like. EG Civic would smoke any hypercar? Dude, that guy's smoking. Actually insane. God. There's cool modern cars. Shut up. Anyways, that's it for this episode. I'll continue this rant in the next episode. We're going to be taking a look at the 206 Challenge. Join us for that. Until then, farewell. I want to fill the add suitability out as to never swearing in this. It's great. Alright. Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we're continue on with our Let's Play. This is episode 77. In today's episode we are taking a look at the 206 challenge. If you don't think you've heard of that before, there's a chance you haven't. So this is part of GT2 Plus. Essentially, for whatever reason, at the last minute, Polyphony decided to cut one make race from the game, the 206 challenge. In GT2 Plus, you can play the 206 challenge. Isn't that great? So instead of 106 challenge, it's 206 challenge. Trial Mountain, let's go. In 206s, how weird. When cars fail to stick out, gotta whine about something for clicks, true. Yeah. I mean, again, Define Soul was like modding car, like, you know, what is the turning point for this, honestly? Because, don't get me wrong, outside of like the EU beeps and bongs, like, nothing's gotten magically worse over the last couple of, you know. If anything, like, you know, if anything, cars have gotten easier, because now you can just sort of look at a Yaku or a Sherry, and you just know that person's not interested in cars and probably will drive into you, so you can just sort of avoid them, you know. We live in a pretty reasonable car market, like there's enough interesting stuff on sale, it's not a lot. You could definitely make the joke of yet another Chinese electric SUV or a Chinese electric plug-in hybrid or another Chinese electric SUV. You can do the same for the car manufacturers, but I think for the most part we're in a relatively good place. Anyone who complains about the old days, guess what? Those cars didn't sell, I don't want to tell you. Coupes, no one buys them. Do you know why no one buys coupes? Because they're impractical. And most of the rigidity that they used to be able to use as a selling point has kind of transferred into the hatchbacks and the saloons and whatever. So there's just no real point of them existing beyond like looking like something. And, you know, BMW and Mercedes don't make good looking coupes, I don't want to say. I mean, the cars are pretty competent. The funny thing is, also, I will say, one thing I love about this new crop of Chinese cars is we are, like Autocar and stuff. Autocar's kind of fun to read now, because some of them are really bad. Like, listen, for every sort of Cherry Tiggo that they probably say is too good for its own good, you know, there's a GWM Haval Jolyon Pro. Do you know how bad a GWM Haval Jolyon Pro is? Read the Autocar review of it. It's hilarious. Or the Skywell BE11. The Skywell BE11's amazing. It's great. I love it. Give me that. There is some really funny cars on sale. Dude, we live in a world where you can buy a car called the Chang'an Deep Sal SQ7. It's great. Like, I don't know, the world's not that bad. I guess, like, you just want to buy a normal car. Toyota is selling, like, Toyota has legitimately probably the best lineup they've had in decades. Like, there are some great cars around us at the moment, and no one really appreciates it, you know. Like, dude, it's not that bad. It really is not that bad. Yeah. The problem is, people come out of every car era thinking how great it was, but, like, you know, everyone says, oh yeah, 2005 was like peak car. And yeah, 2005 had some great cars, no doubt. There was some great stuff. But for every great car in 2005, everyone forgets about the 2005 Ford 5000 or the 2005 Citroen C Crosser or the 2005 Citroen C3 Plurial or the 2005 Peugeot 1007. Like, for every good generation of cars, there was some horrendous stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, 2005 was great. Guess what 2005 wasn't great for? Literally the beginning of the end for Mitsubishi. Like, I don't know. There is some yin and there is some yang. It's just what it is. The Citroen C Crosser. You not heard of the Citroen? I don't think that was 2005. I think that might have been later, but you get my point. Like, every generation of cars had its bad cars, and to be honest with you, everyone in 2005 was probably complaining because you couldn't buy, like, a car with a carburetor anymore, you know? It's the same with manual gearboxes, everyone will just get over it. Also, fun fact, the 206 has an insane turbo kit for no good reason. I'll put the lesser of them on just in case, because I don't really want to drive a 206 for longer than I have to. Oh, and it's Clubman. Yeah, C3 Port Royale. Yeah, there you go. Like, there's some terrible cars. There's some truly wretched stuff. It's great, you know. For every Ferrari F40 or E30 M3, there was the Cadillac Cimarron. You know? Or the Chevy Cavalier. Or the Pontiac Le Mans. You know, for every Ferrari F430 manual, there was a Fiat Chroma. Or the facelifted Fiat Multipla. Or the Honda FRV. You know. Like, anyone who says, like, dude, 90s cars were the best, it's just like, were you in America? American cars were, like, at the absolute pinnacle of awfulness in the 90s, to be honest. Probably less so than, at least, like, in the fucking Malaysia era, they were all comfy. You know. I mean, that last gen Renault Twingo was kind of a dud, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of that. But yeah. I don't know. Every era of cars has kind of had sucky cars, and everyone who lived in that era, like, you know, oh dude, the 90s was so cool, you know, VTEC. It's like, yeah, but for every, like, kid who was, like, into Integras and whatever, there was, like, another guy who was like, whoa, son, why don't you stay home and let me twin the carburetor on my Chevelle? You know? And it'll be the same thing like you lot doing, like, oh, son, remember the manual transmissions? And he's like, Dad, I want a Model 3. Like, I don't know. It's kind of the same. It's all just the same. Circle of life, who cares? It'll be interesting to see what happens. I feel like it's interesting times. I'm not a big fan of, like, the... I hope the Chinese manufacturers don't kill manufacturers I like. But, you know, it's still an interesting world where you get to, you know, drive around and see a Chang'an Deep Cell SQ7. You don't. But you do see a BYD Dolphin Surf, which is a car that's really funny because they had to rename it from the BYD Seagull to the Dolphin Surf in Europe because they know Europeans hate seagulls. But it still makes the noise of a seagull when you start it up. It's incredible. Good stuff. Anyway. Rant over. Yeah, left it rough a lot out here. Chevelle. Blah, 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 blah. Weird Mazda we had. I'd love to know what weird Mazda that was. Great. Anyways, that was the 206 challenge. We didn't really talk a lot about it, but truth be told, that's an event that you could have just, like, left out of the game. And I don't think I'd have even noticed, but whatever. Anyways, join us next time. I'm going to be taking a look at the Clio Cup. Until then, farewell. God, the Zedos. Dude, Zedos 6. Big fan. Dude, if you guys could see what I'm seeing right now, you'd be a big fan. Some massive numbers, and it was a 4-door. It's over. It's almost over now. It's almost over now. You can't be me. I'm a rock star. 3, 2, 1. Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we're continuing on with our Let's Play. This is episode 78. In today's episode we are taking a look at the Clio Cup. For that we need a Renault Clio. Specifically it is a Clio Sport V6 24 valve. I have no idea if you can use the 16 valve, but even if you could it hasn't got a race mod, so unfortunately I can't pull any of my GT4 heroics and use it, so there we go. Apricot Hill Speedway, let's go. Toyota Verosa. Yeah, I know the Verosa. Interesting car. Also, I kind of messed up the pronunciation of 78 there, but it sounded just about good enough, I think, so I just sort of let it go. Fun fact, for those of you who don't know, by the way, the Clio V6 in GT2 is not based on the production model. This is actually based on the 1998 concept car of the Clio V6, not the road-going one. That would only make its debut in GT3. So there you go. Also, this has to be one of the loudest stock cars in the game. It is so loud. Apricot Hill is very forgettable. I like Apricot Hill. I think it is. I think you are kind of right. It is one of those tracks you can kind of forget exists, but I mean, it's cool enough. I feel like it's a track that, despite the fact that it's sort of very clearly inspired by Suzuka, you don't really notice that until it's pointed out to you, which is cool. I think, to be honest, also, Apricot Hill in GT2 is far better than the ones in the later games. There's a little cityscape off towards there, which I think is very cool. I feel like the problem Apricot Hill's kind of got is it's the most sort of lifelike standard track in the game. You know, Midfield Raceway feels kind of outlandish because it is a bit of a sort of longish, weird shape. Tahiti Road's obviously just a road course. Grindelwald, same. Rome, same. Rome Night, obviously the same as well. Same with the stage for Route 5s. Like, of the real tracks, it's this Trial Mountain that you know wouldn't exist because that giant hill on the side would just harpoon any car that came near it. Deep Forest, which I guess kind of makes sense, but it feels like a more of like a sort of 60s or 70s racetrack as opposed to anything modern, just because of the amount of like trees and the fact that trying to get TV cameras around there would be insane. So I guess this is like the most normal track of all of them, and so yeah, it isn't used very often. Elements of Spa. Yeah, it's like a mismatch of like a bunch of great sort of sections of racetrack. I really like driving it, but if you ask me to name all of the tracks in GT2, there isn't a complete non-chance that I'd kind of forget it exists, because I think I possibly would. Yeah. Laguna Seca. Yeah. Laguna in GT2 is a cool ass track. I love Laguna in GT2. I still think it's probably one of the more challenging versions of Laguna Seca as well, because it really makes you feel the corkscrew. I mean, I don't know if it's because I've just driven it a million times, but I feel like in modern games, there's like the corkscrew feels pretty formulaic. Like, you kind of understand how it goes. Although I suppose that's more of a case of like once you've driven sort of like stuff like the Nürburgring, like most tracks become a bit less scary because of that, I guess. Not saying the Nürburgring's good, because it isn't, but yeah, that's an Espace F1. That's not what I wanted. What I wanted was the racing modification. And there's a couple of different versions. You could go for this livery or this livery with the tear in it. I think I went this livery for Hot Lap Classic, so I'll go this livery this time round. I'll go for the amber, because it looks kind of cool. Should we get some more power going through this? I think so. I'll probably... I'll stick an exhaust on it because it's very loud, so I'm kind of curious to see what it sounds like with a racing muffler. I'm not going to go crazy on it though. I think I'm just going to leave it at that and see what it does. Oh, it's Apricot Hill again. Please tell me it's going backwards at least. We are going backwards. Good. You've had forwards, this is backwards. Ironically enough, in a slightly sort of amberish coloured Clio, we are doing the same thing again. Great. I'm gonna have to look at this, but I'm almost certain after the one make races, every single other car is kind of like planned to a T. I think that's the case. I'll have to double check, but I'm fairly certain like everything beyond this is planned. I have just realised every single car in this race is running this version of the race mod, not the other one. Which is a shame. Yeah, I have no idea what the I know this LP is going to be longer than the original because the dirt events are being split up a bit more reasonably. And also there's the license tests at the start of this, which weren't in the original LP. The original LP I think was 99 episodes long, whereas this one's like 111, I think. I'm not really sure where all of the games are taking place. They're somewhere. What I can tell you is after the one makes, we go to endurances. And then after that, it's gonna have to get used to playing this game in 30 FPS again. Or actually, this is the PAL version, 25 FPS again. So that should be fun. Yeah, OG was 98 plus the 100.91% playthrough, which this won't have. I say it every time. I probably should do arcade mode at the end of one of these at some point, but I just never do. I don't know why. Maybe that'll be the game after GT2. I'll go back to GT1 specifically to do a cheap playthrough of arcade mode. I won't. But I could. Ironically enough, I feel like the race exhaust is actually like lessen the volume on this car. I could be wrong though, but that's kind of what it sounds like to me. Get the power down through there. Typical. The input with Apricot Reverse is the AI are very quick through these like S sections. Like they're a lot quicker than you actually think they would be. And because you're just sort of like no-brained in dealing with any of this stuff, they will swoop on you through this final corner like you wouldn't believe. Like they take a pretty good line through here. Fortunately, I'm also going to take a pretty good line through here. And I am not doing GT3 again as long as I live. Did it once, not doing it again. Especially early on, I think GT3 is far more painful in the end game because I'm almost certain Polyphony never expected you to play half them professional league races. I'm almost certain GT3 is a game they never actually anticipated you 100% in. Actually crazy. Alright. So, that takes us out of West City. I think overall, right? That's it for West City. Venturi doesn't have a one-mate race, so yeah. That's West City. I think that's the first... Unless North City was done ages ago. I think North City was actually done. Oh, sorry. South City was done, like, ages ago, and I hadn't noticed. But that's the second city knocked out. Anyway. So next time... we return to East City for the Subaru races, specifically the Alcione Challenge. Join us for that. Until then, farewell. Alright, let's find out what we are going to do for the Alcione Challenge. Of course, there is nil point. Oh, there is one. Well, I guess that's it then. Oh, that's kind of a 7-8. That's kind of the fucking other one, right? Should we do a re-roll? I'm going to do a quick re-roll on Subaru, see if there's anything interesting that pops up. If there is, then hooray. If there isn't, then oh well. No, nothing interesting, and we also lose the Alcione. Cool. So, we're not doing that. Alright. Day modified sheet. Nah, I like doing things natural. Alright, let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we'll continue on for our Let's Play. This is episode 79. In today's episode we are taking a look at the Alcione challenge. For that we need an Alcione, and for that, well, it's Subaru one makes, that's what I should have said. There is one in here. It's the Alcione SVX version L. It's the weaker of the two, but it will do. Or at least it will do once we've stripped most of the weight out of it, because the Alcione is a very heavy car, and everyone's going to tell me Alcione is said wrong, and I'm not going to care. Single model race for Alcione only. Laguna Seca, the most Alcione track of all of them. Admittedly, the version L is the coolest looking one without the race mod, because it has got the two-tone. I kind of wish I got it in a more interesting colour, but what are you going to do? The back of it says SVZ, because, sure. What can I tell you about the SVX? The SVX is actually a legitimately very interesting car. They made like 5,000 of these. It was I think the first ever Subaru 6-cylinder, could be wrong there, 3.3 litre flat 6 engine I think these were. Makes it to a 4-speed automatic transmission because any other gearbox Subaru tried to put behind this just exploded. And so the automatic went in. They were hoping these were going to sell well in America. They didn't, because everyone thought Subaru made small cars for post offices. And so kind of died. They did eventually make a front-wheel drive version of it, which is fun, but yeah, it didn't really go anywhere. But I think the quality inside of these were like superb. These were like Nissan Fairlady levels of like built really well, but yeah. Also, apparently, from what I'm told, the current Subaru BRZ GT300 car runs an SVX engine for some reason, I guess. Pizza Edition would be cooler if I could play through the first race of it, which as far as I'm aware still doesn't work. Pizza. I like how it looks. Yeah, it's cool. I think the front of this was a light bar in some markets. Like a full front light bar, full rear light bar. It is kind of crazy, because it is kind of a car that predicted some of the future of car design, I guess. The two-tone's very reminiscent of the Chinese Honda Integra rear light bar, is very reminiscent of every single car that pops up on sale these days. Front light bar kind of looks like an X-Pen G6. Yeah, so. Well, you did version 1.1 and that still broke the first race. I'll play on stream if you just fix it. I actually was going to play on stream. I'm actually quite pleased I didn't, because if I got into the first race and it was broken, there would have been problems. Ugh. Lurchy, lurchy. All-wheel drive is activated by the wipers. That is some interesting way of doing safety. My favourite act of safety is still the fact the Fiat Uno Turbo had one-use ABS. As in, ABS would be activated once per ignition cycle. And if you locked the front brakes, it would anti-lock, but only on the first... Like, it would only do it once. After that, you was on your own, unless you turned it off and on again. It's amazing. There's a new car out of this? Oh, yeah, there will be, won't there? Interesting. I just don't remember what the colour schemes are for the version L. So there's actually a fun thing we can do here. So, the prize car is the S4 Alcione in a special colour from GT1, which is cool. However, what I will show you is, you can get some different colours. They're actually different to the ones you can get on the normal S4, because the normal S4 has STI pink on it as well. That was a colossal waste of your time, but yeah, there you go. Something you didn't know. I am gonna go for the green. I really wanted to go for the yellow, but I feel like that was too offensive. Can't turbo the world in this. You can NA tune it though. Yeah, the XT does. The XT is a bizarre vehicle. I much prefer this version of it than the earlier XT. The XT is a bit too 80s for me. I'm not a huge fan of the 80s wedge look. It was also one of the first clock move with the steam. There you go. I do remember the fighter's style gear shifter. That looked absolutely ridiculous. Wasn't there like an XT turbo abandoned in Malta of all places or something? I remember reading something about that at one point. It's actually kind of like an insane story that happened. Okay, pizza? Beat that. Just remember I have to play... There is only 2 more times I actually have to physically play. Well, technically there's 1 time I have to play it, but I kind of want to do 2. There's only 1 more time I have to play used car dealership roulette, and that's to get the cappuccino in a couple of episodes time, which I'm not looking forward to. Listen, man, there's worse things to be an expert on than the Super SVX. You could be an expert on, like, the Epstein Island or something. So being a expert on the Super SVX is, I guess, better. I also love the STI banner on this, like there's any form of, like, STI-ness in this. It is great. Stereophonics blaring in the background. I've actually got through quite a lot today. We're on 78, so... whatever's wrong with the first event, if you overwrite the event to put 5 random cars in, it's fine. I think it's caused by a model offset or something that you've got. It's either a model offset or because you have got a model offset, because you've got like night models of cars showing up in day races, which is like the classic sign of one of the cars you've added doesn't have a night model, probably. It also could be like invalid part data or something, although that I'm not so sure it would be. I'd just sort of keep trying it until you can get it to consistently not break. I mean, the problem is, like, for a high-performance SVX to exist, that would be cool, but, like, again, they had, like, the issue of, like, the gearbox kind of exploding. So, I don't really think there was much they could do in terms of high performance. I would have loved to... I really hope someone swapped, like, the, I love, like, one of these swaps with, like, the Subaru Legacy twin-turbo motor that they stuck in some of the high-performance Legacies or something like that. That'd be baller. I'd do that. If I had all the money in the world, I probably would, because I do love an SVX. It'd probably be like one of the few modified cars I'd actually like to do. I still have the greatest idea for a modified car in the history of the world ever, but I'll save that one for the next time. If we could do up to the next episode, I think that literally means one more stream. And yeah, I think if I get to the end of the Subaru one makes, one more stream, and we can probably push to the end of the one makes. I need to build these up. I am going to stream at some point again this week. I'm sort of hopefully Friday. Busy on Saturday. I'm sort of hoping Friday I can get something together. Because I'd like to get to the end of the one makes and then record all the endurances. Because the endurances are going to be a slog. But we'll see how we get. Either way, I'm absolutely going to have to money grind at some point. I really want to leave the money grinding until like the last possible moment, just because I'm an absolute masochist. Anyways, as noted previously, the prize car we got was the S4 in the special colour from Gran Turismo 1. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join us next time. We're going to be taking a look at the Impreza challenge. Until then, farewell. Do you need to be reminded? Yes. Friday. If I'm not here Friday, send the search party out. Hold on, let me work this out. I think, as long as I don't fuck a race up, I should be able to get the cappuccino without save scumming. I actually might finish Suzuki tonight, to be honest. Impreza challenge is only normal. So that should be pretty straightforward. We'll see. Anyway. Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we're continuing on with our Let's Play. This is episode 80. In today's episode we are finishing off the Subaru 1 Make events with the Impreza challenge. For that we need a Subaru Impreza. And to be honest with you, none of them in this dealership are particularly interesting, apart from this one. It's not quite a 22B, but it'll do. And it should see us well through the Impreza challenge. I'm just going to sneak a turbocharger onto this. I wouldn't normally, but I just have a suspicion the other cars are going to be pretty quick. Impreza challenge, 10k. This one should be pretty straightforward. Special stage. Route 5. No 22B, there's a 22B there. For me, honestly, this comes in a better colour than 22B as well, so... I'm not the biggest 22B guy, to be honest. Like, it's a cool car, don't get me wrong, and stuff, but... I do prefer my Imprezas in 4-door, to be honest. I'm not really a huge Impreza coupe guy, even though I know I'm driving a coupe in this. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm not really much of a GC8 person, which I know is like absolute sacrilege. But yeah, I don't know, doesn't really do a lot for me. I prefer the my beloved is the Bug-Eye Impreza. That's my beloved. The Retina Coupe. Oh yeah. I think the Impreza challenge is actually one of those one makes that could be staying. I actually don't remember. Nathan's come back to see the original Impreza model and cry. Yeah. You definitely did a better job. It's sort of how unshapely the rear end is on this one is bizarre. Especially like when you see the Retina. It just looks a bit more healthier at the back. Honestly, the Retina would have been kind of sick in this game. No one would have bought it, but I would have liked it. My favourite thing about the Retina is you could have a 1.5 litre or a 1.6 litre, and the only difference is, because the engine difference was literally like nothing, their way of getting around it was saying, well, the 1.5 litre was two-wheel drive and the 1.6 litre was all-wheel drive, and that's how you got it. It's actually kind of funny, like how that all worked out for them. Is there actually like water there in Tokyo, or is that just like a mirage thing? I have no idea. Yeah, no Casablanca. So, untold story of the retro inspired cars. So Japan had a lot of those. There's the Casablanca Impreza, there was the Miragino, stuff like that. There was one for the Opti as well, which made it look even worse, if you can believe that. And basically from the start, I didn't really want the Casablanca Impreza, just because I feel like it was too easy. And so we got to a point where there was like one or two of them on the list, and I just made the decision to kill them all. I know the Casablancas and all that are very funny, and they are interesting, but it just feels like such like a low-hanging fruit. And honestly, I feel like the Impreza lineup that Beige has, which has been heavily curated because there was originally like 13 or 14 Imprezas, it was actually kind of ridiculous. Yeah, it is about the minimum you could do while sort of representing the Impreza fairly. So yeah, there's a lot. There was a lot. 10Gs. I feel like this is probably the most profitable, and we get a new car as well, probably the most profitable warm make we ever did. I keep going into that slot, and that slot's grown. I didn't save the replay with the fucking Alcione. That is incredible. Okay. That is actually a problem, isn't it? Bollocks. Alright. There will be a way around that. I'll just have to... Oh, God. I'll have to try and, like, save scum it constantly for Grand Valley until I get it. Ah, well. That should be a sign to stop, but we'll keep going. Thank you all very much for watching. Join us next time when I'll be taking a look at the Suzuki one-make races, beginning with the Alto Works Cup. And join us for that. Until then, farewell. I quite literally do not remember what I used for this in the original playthrough. I used the Alto Works. Okay, cool. Oh, dude, Daniel's back. Let's fucking go. Alright, let's do this. Yeah, I could just run a lap in arcade mode. That's not the worst idea. Anyways, 3, 2, 1. Hello there, and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo. Today we continue on with our Let's Play. This is episode 81. In today's episode, we are beginning our look at the Suzuki one-make races with the Alto Works Cup. For that, we need an Alto Works, and... do I use the 90s one or the 98? I feel like the 98 literally is never seen in a game, so I'm going to use the 98. Because it's interesting, I guess. Because they look more like the Alto we're probably more used to seeing here in Europe. And do you know, I'm going to throw a turbo on there as well. I wasn't going to do it, but I am going to do it because key cars slow. The AI are probably going to be quite quick, so yeah. Single model race for Alto Works. At Autumn Ring. Perfect. Because... Oh my god, wait, is this a CVT? No, my controller just acted weird. Okay. I got really excited there for a second, but no, there's just some weird button delay on the controller there. I don't know what's going on. I think my PC's having a minor meltdown at the moment, actually. But who cares? We're here. It's fun. I'll double check the recording of this one afterwards. If you noticed anything weird, shout in chat. I feel like it all began when Pizza said test pizza edition. That's when everything started going horribly wrong. But it don't mean a thing. Dude. I do kind of appreciate the fact that these old tracks, they never bothered to update the fact that they had the undynamic billboards, but they did update all of the billboard textures to say Gran Turismo 2. I will take that. In case you see it in any of the beige edition pictures, there is a... You can't have dynamic billboards on these tracks, as far as I'm aware, but the billboards are going to be substituted out for the correct beige billboards at some point. So, we'll look forward to that. Big fans of beige billboard lovers all over the world, for which I'm sure many of you are, I guess, because why wouldn't you be? It don't mean nothing. This is very slab, as one would probably expect from the Suzuki Alto. It has got cry face, I will say that. The Alto's definitely got cry face at the front, with its weird, yeah, with its weird eyes. In which, yeah. Fingers crossed dynamic billboards, if not fake billboards, they'll be put into the correct places. So the Mazda Speed Bridge will become the Isuzu Bridge, I guess. Depending on where you think in the world Autumn is actually set. No, it's not as sad as the Alta, as the Opti. No car will ever be as sad as the Opti, to be honest. Let's be frank. But I feel like the Opti Club Sport's like one of those cars that isn't truly appreciated by anyone outside of us. You know, no one really remembers it and or cares about how tragic the Optis looked. Because the funny thing is, even like the aerodynamic beaks, once you take around all of its aerodynamic bits like we did in beige, you quickly find out that car is just kind of... car just kind of looks like a toaster with gully eyes on it. Like, it's actually kind of insane. It don't mean nothing. There we go. There is nothing to say about anything that happened there. There is genuinely nothing. Aero Down is still one of the funniest sounding additions. It is great, isn't it? I'd love to see the guy who came up with it, the Suzuki board member who said Aero Down. Speaking of getting the aero down, the racing modification, you gotta go with the blue, obviously. The grey is an option, but it isn't, is it, really? The grey is only an option in the eye of the beholder, and the eye of me says no. We've got a good mix of the rest of them, though. There's the grey there. I suppose the grey still looks okay. And then there's just a lot of the other Altos. Oh my god, yeah, that's a great idea. I could literally call this event afternoon tea. That actually also got a rejigged model, come to think of it. There's not really many cars that hasn't. I know the Alto we're featuring is not this one, although that's not been touched yet. we have an interesting version of this to come, which I'm sure you'll all love. It's like an addition that's so weird, like we had it written down wrong for like the vast majority of the car list, until someone actually tried to look into the Alto, and it was like, oh, yeah, we've just been spelling that wrong the entire time it existed. That does happen. That's kind of what happens when a dyslexic writes the list. Yeah, you see, that's the 90 Alto. The 90 Alto, like, the race mod kind of comes in some interesting colours. Like, it comes in, like, a weird turquoisey colour and that red. But I don't feel like it's, beige T1, isn't it? Our 99 Alto is a 5-door. It hasn't got the... Ironically enough, I'm gonna shock you right now. These lights that are on this Alto, the sad puppy dog eyes, they're actually considered the sports lights on this. Because the standard Alto had the sort of lights the rest of the world would recognise more as just Alto lights. Our Alto, the trim our Alto is sounds like a disease. Like, genuinely, it does sound like it could be like a disease. Like, oh no, you've been diagnosed with that. And it's like, oh no. Right. Reverse Tahiti Road is actually kind of tricky because the AI are absolute bastards. And they just, like, shunt you into everything in existence. It's not fun. But that do be what they do. Be doing. Fortunately, I'm gonna body them all through this corner. I'm gonna body them all through this corner. And then I'm gonna have the inside line going into this corner. Haha. Dr. House, what do you think it is? You've got leprosy. No, sorry, I'm reading it upside down. You've got zeprosy. Dr. Hoose. Dr. Moose is loose in the hoose. Of course, Crisis is a person, didn't you know? I am an Alto King. Anyway. It don't mean nothing. Alright. That is the Alto done. Next, I'm going to be taking a look at the Cappuccino Cup. Join us for that. Until then, farewell. Alright, Cappuccino Cup, and then that's it for the night, I think. I feel like I've given you a pretty good stream. And you've given me a good stream, to be fair, so thank you all very much for showing up. It is genuinely like I never left. It is actually kind of crazy. Every single time I take one of these, like, weird, like, unannounced breaks out of nowhere. Like, remember, I haven't streamed for, like, 5 weeks. And then, like, we come back to it, and it is genuinely, like, nothing changed, and everything's fine, and we're just back to it, and there's, like, no issues whatsoever. It's actually pretty cool. So, thank you all very much for being here. And I know it's say every time. I know every single time I forget, but we have to keep on this roll, because I love doing this. It's great fun. It's good fun, chilling and ranting and being able to do the stuff I can't do in my usual relatively scripted content these days. So yeah, it's good. Thank you all for coming along. So for one final time tonight, hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we're continuing on with our Let's Play. This is episode 82. In today's episode we are finishing our look at the Suzuki 1 make events with the Cappuccino Cup. For that, we need a cappuccino, and we even have the choice of 2 of them at the bottom of here. I'm going for dark turquoise, because of course I am. Right, same as the last time, I am going to put a big turbocharger onto my cappuccino, because, yeah, the AI are probably going to be pretty quick. Oh, you can even put a little intercooler on this one. We'll do that anyway. Alright. Cappuccino Cup, 1 make, race for cappuccinos. Please don't be Grand Valley. Trial Mountain, close enough. Makes like a little sort of strange noise when it's revving up. It's like revving up a tiny trike or something. It's great. Close to a month. So when I went to resume on this emulator, on this version of GT2 Plus, it said June 28th. Now, admittedly, in that time it has been relatively hot, but it also cooled down quite a lot, so I can't really, yeah, I don't really have too many excuses. I just genuinely got sidetracked by other stuff. Speaking of being sidetracked by other stuff, hey, have you heard? No, what is that, the real Neil? That's right, me. The memberships! They've changed cost. They've gone from $1.99 to just 99 pence a month. For that, you get a little badge next to your name and the use of some emojis. Isn't that cool? If you've ever used AdBlock and you fancy, you know, making sure I don't go homeless, then you can become a 99 pence member, which is probably more than you would have ever made me on ad revenue. Cancel after a month if you want. Don't mind. As long as you, like, join, it's cool and good. And, you know, the more people who join the 99p membership stuff, the more things I'll do for the members. There you go. I have actually been thinking of that. There might be some members-only content at some point, as soon as you can go on top of my actual content. So there you go. Become a member, 99 pence only. Or, if you want your name at the start of every video, $4.99 a month. Get you that. So, or is it $3.99? I can't remember. Some amount of money will get you what you want from me. Probably. Provided it isn't some sort of weird, like, sociopathic relationship or something like that. I could give you that, but I'm not going to. So, join today! Ask questions later. Alright. I have actually genuinely, it has been 2 hours and 40 minutes. I have not e-begged once, and I feel like that. Usually I wait until we're in the middle of these as well. I really am off topic. See, I never ask anyone to like and subscribe because I don't believe in it. However, no one ever said anything about not e-begging memberships. That is a different gravy. So, do that. Best pitch for your membership yet, thank you. It has gone down in price, haven't you heard? If you believe that the bird is the word, you'll become a member. If you believe the bird is equal to or lesser than the bird, then you're wrong. The bird is the word. No worries. It's like, there's literally... The people who do that, so I don't get, like... Supposedly, statistically, it does work, which, fair enough, but do whatever you need to do. But at the same time, I just can't bring myself to do it. There's been too many years of, like... And it, for me, personally, it doesn't make me do it any more or less. If I like the content, I drop a like on it. If I like the person speaking, I'll subscribe. If you say, like and subscribe, all of my viewers are unsubscribed, then I don't really care. I mean, to be fair, in modern sort of YouTube recommendations, it doesn't really matter that much anyway. To be popular. There is a very easy way to make money on this website, and I very much could do it if I really wanted to. But it's probably legally treacherous, so I don't bother. Yeah, exactly. No, that's my favorite one, where it's like, hey, just before we get into today's video, if you can drop this on, it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, this comes in like loads of different colours. It's very cool. However, we are going to go for the TRE branded colour, because why not? The white, the green. It really does remind me. I mean, I don't even know if I should bother anymore. You know the channel icon? You know, the green TRE logo off to the side? Looks like a sort of M&M. I think I've legitimately had that now going on almost 9 years. It is actually kind of... It changed at the end of 2017. So... It has been a long time. I don't know... I just realised this is Gran Valley full. Oh my god. There's also a lot of blue ones, apparently. Interesting. But yeah, I do probably need to look into updating the channel at some point. I'm not going to do it. I'm also not going to pay anyone to do it, so... I don't know. The problem is, anytime I think about doing it, it's like, what do you even do? Like, outside of changing the colour, but I feel like I don't really want to change the colour for a couple of reasons. One, because no one else uses green, really. Like, if you look at most channel branding on YouTube, it's either like blue or red. You know, yellow if you're being really silly. Not many people do yellow. Seriously, not many people do channel art these days. Like, it's either just a picture of someone's face or like a picture of a car or something. Like, yeah. So I like green because green kind of works as the colour. The second channel has the magenta colour, which I also think is very cool. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind like updating it for... Yo, welcome Chaser. Sometimes I wouldn't mind having like a sort of higher resolution version of it, maybe with like, I don't know, either a little bit more detail or a little bit less detail, because there's like some shading on it and stuff that looks okay, but it is starting to look a little bit standard def. But yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't change it massively. I feel like it kind of works. I'm kind of stuck with price down as a font now as well. Because it sort of works, I guess. I don't know. Thought I'd already missed the stream by this hour. Unfortunately, this is actually the last event we're doing. But I appreciate you all the same. We'll be back on Friday. Anyway, for a bit more of this. I'm aiming Friday. It better be Friday. Unless Friday's like massively hot or I just like die on the way home or something. Because I have got to be up early on Saturday. But yeah. We'll be back Friday, probably. For more of this, so don't worry, you haven't missed much. It'll be our final push-up one make events as well, which is where the actual interesting stuff starts to happen. I think the only thing you've really missed is the shortest episode we'll ever do, which was the R34 one make, which I legit think is going to be like a 2.5 minute upload to YouTube, because I got like the unbelievable combination of a quick car and super speedway. The good news is the previous stream was like 5 weeks ago, so I don't even remember it. So it's all good. It's all good in the hood. The good news is as well, while I'm currently not uploading, the streams do pretty good for my channel analytics. So, or at least on the back end. I don't know what it looks like on the front end, because technically when you unlist the live stream, it counts as like the video never really existing. It's like external, but I don't know how it works with like YouTube's internals. Because obviously it still tracks perfectly fine through Creator Studio, so I don't really know how that all works. It is a good reminder that I should do more casual streams. I upload them every now and again. Like, every now and again, I'll just sort of be looking through my streams. I did it a little while ago, where I was, like, looking through the streams, and there was, like, a GT4 Spec 2 stream I did, like, 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, yeah, I'll just sort of throw that up. Why not? Something for people to watch, I guess. I think there's a few more I'm sat on that I could actually upload while I'm not really uploading anything. If the Dreammaker ones weren't so broken, I might stitch them together at some point and just upload them, but the quality would be fucking horrendous, so I don't know. But either way, they're fun because they're like the beginnings of Beige Edition. Anyway, I would have been incredibly furious to lose that on the line. Especially considering Grand Valley, it takes so long. A 5-minute race is absolutely criminal, but whatever. We did it. We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Oh, actually, do you know what we will do? As a little sort of... As a little extra onto this stream, I'll quickly get the SVX's replay while I'm in here. Alright. So, that is that. Thank you all very much for watching. Join us next time. I'm going to be taking a look at the one and only Tommy Cairo one-make race, which is the ZZ Challenge. Join us for that. Until then, farewell. Let's start next time stream off with a terrible mid-engine car. Right. Let's quickly save state just in case something goes horribly wrong. Don't click that button. This button. I hate where it's got the undo save state thing there. It's just like, why would I ever want to undo the save state? Anyway. What car you saw today? Oh god, that's a good question. I actually don't know. Old school GM. I'm actually not sure. I could cheat and just do Grand Valley. No, we'll do full Grand Valley. Yeah, like, there's nothing wrong with... It was actually technically Grand Valley backwards, wasn't it? But whatever. Those who know will know. Yeah, like, there's nothing wrong with the look of the ZZ2 or anything, it's just not a very good... As you know, that one's one of the okay ones, isn't it? Because it wasn't massively slow on Hot Lap. I actually don't remember. I can guarantee, despite being built in a shed, a ZZ2 is probably more reliable than a Lotus Elise. But I'd probably argue that's not really saying much, is it? Old Hoopty GM. Did you see like a fucking Cadillac Simmer or something? Yeah, the only difference is I'm not going to Photoshop the other cars into this. Usually I do like getting like a thumbnail that has like more than one car in it, but whatever. If I knew where all the replay cameras for this was, I would actually sort of show off and do some sick stuff to try and get it to come in, but never. Oh dude, Astro. Oh, yeah. Was it a normal Astro or an Astro Starcraft? I love the water texture in this game. It is so, like, nothing, but it actually does kind of sell you on the fact there's, like, water. It is interesting. First gen Chevy Lumina, hell yeah. What a motorized vehicle that is. I love how dull the sound of the SVX is. Fortunately, we are almost at the end of this race. It's a race. That is some freaky deaky shit pizza. Alright, that's that. Cool. Usually I would do 2 laps so you can get some more varied replay angles. However, it's such a long track, I literally don't care. 79. Oh my god. Well, that was good fun. And I think, actually, yeah, hold on. For being so patient on the stream, you can have a reward. What is your reward? Wow, look, it's Beige Edition's latest car. Answers on a postcard. Anyway, that is gonna be that. We made some really good progress today. Got through a lot of the one makes. Very happy to be back streaming. Thank you all very much for joining me on this comeback. I am actually quite floored by the amount of people who actually came out. So, awesome stuff. Thank you all very much for watching and enjoying and all the rest of it, and liking and subscribing and membershiping and whatever else you do. We have literally just hit the 3-hour mark, so there is no better time to end it than now. Also, bracket and pizza are correct. Anyways, that's it for this stream. Thank you all for coming out. Join us next time, hopefully Friday, for more. Yeah, thank you guys. Cheers. Until next time, farewell.